Hello photography fans and welcome back to another LensVid review. Today we're taking a look at an FX-30 cage and a rotating handle from SmallRig. Let's see what they can do. We recently added an FX-30 to our camera lineup, and I initially put together kind of a Frankenstein cage for it from different parts, but we now have a dedicated SmallRig cage made for the FX-3 and the FX-30, and here are some thoughts after testing the cage with the SmallRig rotating handle. Before we get to the review of this cage, I want to say a couple of words about cages in general. About a year ago, we reviewed a couple of wireless follow focus systems that rely on how stable the camera is inside the cage. That made me realize that there are specific use cases that the cage manufacturers are not considering. Another concept that we constantly wish for being hybrid shooters is quick releases inside the cage. It's still not a popular concept. This cage is a little different, though only because of the specifics of the camera body. Because of the multiple mounting points integrated in the body, it's a lot easier to get a very firm cage hold while keeping a sleek profile. Also, because the FX-30 is a cinema line camera and we don't use it for shooting stills, this is the first time that the cage can stay on one of our cameras, so quickly changing out of the cage is not really an issue. But there's another issue, which is the Arca Swiss plate integrated into the cage base. This long Arca Swiss plate is made for photography ball heads, and it's kind of pointless for fluid heads, and you still have to add another quick release plate on the bottom. It would be great to have one integrated into the base. The design is actually a half a cage with 3 mounting points. There are multiple lanyard slots. The side screws are not attached to the cage, so if you take the cage off the camera, make sure not to lose them. There are 1/4 inch and 3/8 mounting holes with locating pins on both sides of the cage, and an extra 1/4 inch mount on the top next to the cold shoe. The left side of the cage features a NATO rail and a mounting point for an HDMI cable clamp. On the base of the cage there are more mounting points, a latch to facilitate changing batteries, and a magnetic tool. As a separate component of the cage, SmallRig includes a top NATO rail that attaches to the FX-30's integrated mounting holes. The rotating side handle attaches with a NATO rail holder with a thumb screw. It's an all-metal construction with mounting holes and a cold shoe on top, and a magnetic Allen key tucked away in the base of the handle. There are also slots to attach a hand strap. The handle is really solid, it's hefty, and it feels really good in the hand with its pistol grip shape and cushioned rubber inserts. The main feature of the handle is the rotating mechanism that allows for easy adjustment. The mechanism is surprisingly strong and smooth. It features 360-degree rotation, so technically you could mount the handle on the right side of the camera with the included NATO rail. The grip wouldn't be the most comfortable, but it'll work in a pinch. Having a rotating handle is very ergonomic because it adjusts to any angle. You can actually replace the top handle for low-angle shots and serve as a point of contact for operating the lens. Speaking of the top handle, it's not something I personally use very often, mostly because it gets in the way of the hot shoe, and so does the NATO rail that comes with this cage. On the one hand, it's great that it's optional and not part of the cage, but in my shooting setup, I would only use it for specific cases. The good thing, having the mounting points on the FX-30, SmallRig can design a NATO rail that protrudes forward and clears the hot shoe. Another thing with mounting the side handle, because there's no way to reposition the holder on the handle itself, it will not be flush with the bottom of the camera. Because it rotates though, you can quickly get it out of the way to set the camera flat on the table. The other option is mounting the included NATO rail higher on the side of the cage or adding a long SmallRig NATO rail. In conclusion, SmallRig's FX-30 cage and the rotating side handle are a great combo. There are some limitations with the cage as to the specific types of setups, but thankfully SmallRig is really good at providing multiple options, and we'd love to see this cage with a redesigned quick release plate and a larger top left section to accommodate a small NATO rail or a cold shoe. As for pricing, the FX-30 cage sells for $90 and the rotating handle is $100. And that is it for our look at the FX-30 cage and the rotating handle by SmallRig. Go check out more content on our website at LensVid.com, subscribe to this channel, and come back for more videos. We'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe.